It was better with the light on, Willie.
Well, I can't tell. Trying to get it to where I can see good.
I see that.
How is everyone?
Like,
Staying here, each other, because we're still probably over here.
Okay,
Are we on?
our mics are hot.
Watch what you say.
I'll do it. I have to.
Okay, that's right.
We're about ready, oh, we got 3 minutes.
We got 3 minutes.
But you should have come eat with us. We had a big old catfish dinner.
Oh, I had stuff to do at the farm.
We done it for the fire department, the board members tonight.
Well, I didn't know about it. I'm
Oh,
not on
okay.
the board. I'm not on a fire department board anywhere anymore anyway.
Well, you could have come joined us anyway.
Well, I'm sure it was good. Who catered the catfish?
Down here at Evansville at KT's old restaurant. It's called the Fishing Hole now.
Is KT still around down there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she lives just over the hill there. She lives up Possum Holler.
She's still baking pies.
Oh, yeah. This lady that's got it now, she used to work for Harps, and she bakes some good pies, too. Real good.
Ms. Hart does have some fine recipes.
Boy, they do. Yep. Got some good people working there here in Lincoln. They can make some good stuff, too.
I could be a pie taster and be very happy as long as I could live at it.
I had a big old piece of pecan pie down here tonight. It was awful good.
I'm just never gonna forget. I like pecan pie. I always have. But having some of that Spring Street Grill chocolate pecan pie.
Woo, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Chocolate pecan pie it's much better than it sounds like it would be.
Well, I just like regular pecan pie and ice cream. Warm it up in the microwave just a little bit. Woo, it's good.
Oh, you'd like that. Do you like hot cocoa?
I'm not really a big chocolate fan.
Well, they use that cocoa. I know that's what it is. I can taste it. They use that powdered cocoa stuff out of the can, that Hershey's cocoa.
Yep.
They put that in there, mix that in somehow, and that so you can have chocolate pecan pie.
I like
It's better than hot cocoa.
There you go.
I could see how that would be good if it was hot and had vanilla ice cream on top of it. That would be nice.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think this was their plan. Good evening, everyone. You guys got me hungry talking about all this pies. Willie, I'm gonna have to get out there in Miss KT's and get some more of that pie. Anyway, the special quorum court of Washington County is now called to order. With that, JP Pond has agreed to do the prayer and pledge. Will you open us up in prayer and pledge, JP Pond?
Would y'all all bow your heads, please? Just, Lord, God in heaven, I pray that as we bow before you this evening, that we'd mind you and what we say and what we do, that it all be in that way, some way be all pleasing to you as we come and do to serve the people of Washington County, that we fairly represent all the citizens of the county. Ask that you'd forgive me of the many times I've sinned of my shortcomings. All this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Stand pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
United
States
of America.
And to the
Republic.
Which stands
One
one
nation.
nation
Under God,
God,
Indivisible.
with liberty
and justice for all.
Thank you, JP Pond. Ms. Patty, will you take the roll to see who we have in attendance and make sure we have a quorum?
Susan Cunningham,
here.
Patrick Deacons,
Here.
Sam Duncan,
Here.
Ecke,
Here.
Ann Harbison,
Here.
Suki Hires,
Here.
Andrea Jenkins,
I'm here.
Lance Johnson,
Here.
Willie Lemming,
Present.
Eva Madison,
Here.
Sue Madison,
Here.
Butch Pond,
Here.
Derek Thomas,
Here.
Chandra Washington,
Here.
Judith Yanez.
Here.
Judge, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Patty. With that, we'll go ahead and the adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Agenda.
Second.
I have a motion to adopt the agenda in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we have the adoption of the agenda. Any preliminary motions? Item 4.
I move the ordinance be read by title only.
Second.
Have a motion by Sue Madison, JP Madison, and a second by, who's that?
Sam.
Second by JP Duncan on preliminary motions to read by title only the ordinance. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, so that's item 5. We'll read that by title only. At this time, again, we'll have citizen comments. 15 minutes has been set aside for that. 3 minutes per individual. We just ask that you state your name and where you're from. And with that, citizen comments. Citizen comments.
Sarah Moore.
Ms. Sarah Moore, you recognized?
Hi, Sarah Moore, Fayetteville. Thank you for letting me speak again tonight. My subject will be much similar to what I spoke about last night. There has been an update with passage of some federal relief in response to the pandemic. And I know that we're all breathing a bit of a sigh of relief, and the moratorium was extended on evictions through the end of January. However, I will continue to advocate that we look at that CARES money that we currently have in Washington County of $4.5 million. There are individuals every day that even with the existing moratorium are getting incredible pressures with current landlords, asking them on and on again to vacate their homes, their warm homes during this winter season. And I have concerns even with the extension of the moratorium that will continue to happen. These families are facing pressures to try to get employment that will pay enough money to get their rent monies in arrears. And we will be waiting for those federal dollars to come down for some time, potentially. We don't even know when the federal monies come to the state, how much will come to our area. It's been estimated that our neck of the woods is going to need somewhere north of $20 million to actually make a dent in the crisis we currently are facing. We have 4 million of that in our coffers. And I think that every little bit we can scrape together is going to be needed to really create relief in our area that will help to take care of some of the pandemic crisis that we're experiencing. We have children that could be unsheltered this winter in these cold weather months. And I really want us to consider that. As we talk about the budget looking forward, I think that was brought to the fore by JP Yanez at the end of last night's meeting. And unfortunately, we didn't have conversation that I would have loved to have heard with my justices in regard to that as a solution for how she could change over to a yes vote with this budget. Additionally, I am very concerned that we have not addressed the areas of the overages, especially in the sheriff's budget. I know we need to pass a budget tonight, but I'm concerned that we don't hit some of the important areas before we move forward. The road department has had numerous, and I won't bring them up, but I agree with many of the things that have been verbalized that we have yet to get answers. We haven't talked about how we're not going to end up in the situation again with that whole dirt pit. We don't know how much money we actually spent on that project and what part of the budget and the road budget. If we're going to move forward and approve this budget tonight, I'm concerned about what we had in 2020 going forward in 21. How much of that was wasted spending potentially that we're approving for 21? So I don't want, again, I value our county employees. I don't want them to feel angst over not knowing what's going to happen in the next year. However, I think we need to have some very thorough dialogue tonight. I would love to hear some discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Sarah Moore. Citizen comments.
Lou Sharp.
Ms. Lou Sharp, you're recognized.
Yes, this is Lou Sharp. Can y'all hear me?
Go ahead,
Okay.
you're recognized.
Okay, good. Sorry, I know my voice didn't come through last night. I just wanted to thank you, Court. And my name's Lou Sharp. I live in Tawnytown, Arkansas. And I want to reiterate what I said last night. You know, every Tuesday and today, I spent the day delivering food to 48 families, starting with 40 or 50 in West Fayetteville that are tutoring on homelessness, then going to another 48 homes in Prairie Grove, Lincoln, and Summers, Arkansas. And, you know, these families range in age from young families with young children living in slum-like trailer houses to widows that are 58 and 60 years old and not on Medicare yet, to 90 plus people, 90-year-olds that are teetering on homelessness if their car goes out or something happens. I just think that there does need to be discussion about the $4.5 million that's sitting in the coffers. If those people in West Fayetteville end up homeless and we record the information, we say, oh no, they're living in the grass. If they end up going to Prairie Grove or Lincoln to live because it's cheaper over there, there's no jobs. So then do they go to Mock Park in Prairie Grove because there's a community pantry there? So, you know, when my 70-year-old has paid her rent faithfully for 7 years and has only been late now 2 months in a row, I mean, her option is to go to a nursing home. So, and then the state pays for everything. But now we've got 4 and 5 families living with somebody, a relative, because it's cheaper over in the rural areas. And it's just the problem is really, really getting compounded. So I hope, I think JP Yanez had some good solutions last night. I think the county needs to be good stewards of your money. It's our money too, and good stewards of our neighbors. I think we can work together to create some creative solutions. We've been delivering food now since March, and it's not getting any better. It's getting worse. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sharp. Citizen comments. Citizen
Beth
comments.
Coger.
Ms. Beth Koger, you're recognized.
Okay, thank you, Judge Wood. Beth Coger, 3661 Embry Drive, Fayetteville, Arkansas. I would just like to ask the court to please make your position known on the CARES Act money, because we keep asking about it. But in order to plan, sorry about that, in order to plan what direction we need to go, we need to know the court's position. And that includes Judge Wood and all the JPs. So if the court could come out with a joint statement, that would be good. Or if each JP would just let me know where you stand on using the CARES Act money for the rental assistance and other matters that we addressed the court about. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Koger. Citizen comments.
Holly Woods.
Citizen comments, pardon me.
Holly Woods.
Holly Woods, you're recognized.
I'm here. You able to hear me?
Yep, go ahead, you're recognized.
Hi, this is Holly Woods. I'm a single parent living in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And I just wanted to share my personal story, and that I'm a local small business owner, and both of my two small businesses have been heavily hit by COVID. They deal with people traveling, and because traveling is shut down, I've had nearly no business. I'm a single parent. I'm looking for work, but I'm also high risk. So I'm trying to virtual school my daughter. So I'm having a hard time finding work that allows me to keep myself safe, as well as take care of my daughter and provide the school that she needs. I just wanted to ask that you consider families like me that are out here doing everything that we can to make rent, and that are being supported by the community right now, and to look and see if there's some available money that might be able to help some of the families that are out here. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mrs. Woods. Citizen comments.
Sherry Main.
Ms. Sherry Maines, you recognized. Ms. Sherry Maine.
Better go in the bedroom.
Oh, hold on.
Can you hear me now?
Sherry Maine,
Yes, Sherry Main,
go ahead.
15574 Riches Road, Fayetteville. And I just had a couple of comments. I compared the budget that I had that was given out in September to the new budget that was online. That's been revised with all of the changes and amendments with the ordinances. And I just wanted to point out, there was a question whether the Elkins District Court money was in the revised budget that they asked for, and it is. And I went through and all of the $1,560, which is $60 per pay period, 26 pay periods is generated in the salary for the new revised budget. And everything checked out to me as far as the new budget on the revisions. The only problem I have is with the road department again, but the other question that I have on the budget for 2021 is the Board of Equalization budget. And that is Fund 0106. And their budget for 2021 is actually increased by 58% from the 2020 budget. Now, I know that when you do reappraisals, a countywide reappraisal every 5 years, and I'm asking if that's changing. Why do we still need $1.7 million in the 2021 budget for countywide appraisal with the Board of Equalization if we're not going to do another countywide reappraisal? So that's the questions I had and what kind of jumped out at me when in my review of the whole budget. So if I can get an answer to that, then that's good. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mrs. Maine. Citizen comments.
Clint Schleppnoff.
Mr. Pastor Clint, you're recognized.
Thank you for recognizing me. So
Your name and city.
Sorry, what?
Your name and city.
Oh, sorry. Clint Schneckloth, and I live in Fayetteville, Arkansas. 3205 East Charing Cross. So a couple things. I would like to second Beth Koger's request that each of the JPs, as well as if it's possible, the Quorum Court as a whole and Judge Wood would make more public their current thinking on the use of the CARES funds, because you're sitting on a really large amount of money, and all of us that are residents of this county have no idea what any of your intentions are, which leaves us in the dark. And I don't think that's helpful for either citizen advocacy or planning on the part of other agencies and organizations. So for us to be able to think alongside of you and give good citizen input, we need to know at least what you're considering right now. In the absence of any information, we just work with like rumors and guesses. Then the second thing is, as you have heard from me by email, we're in a real crisis situation within our county. Washington County has the second most evictions of any county in the state of Arkansas, and it was the first county to stop giving out relief from the state fund that was established by the legislature earlier this fall. And so what that means is both of those things compound within our county in a very dramatic way. We're going to see a really large increase in evictions, homelessness, hunger, and a number of other issues, all starting in the new year. It's relieved a little bit by the fact now that potentially, as long as the president signs the relief bill, that the evictions will be postponed until January 31st. So that's helpful that we're given that month to kind of work together on solutions. But the county needs to be a part of this solution. It can't just punt it to the state or to the city, which is what I've heard from some of the JPs. The very few JPs who actually did respond to the letter that the CEO of Seven Hills and myself sent to you. We got a response from a phone call from Judge Wood and basically no response from the rest of the JPs, which I think is problematic all by itself. When you have an organization as large as Seven Hills that's responsible for homelessness in our county and addressing it, and you don't get any kind of response from the JPs, that's really worrisome and problematic. What we need you to do, and I know that this is a problem because what you see yourselves is stuck just on the budget.
Pastor Clan, need you to go ahead and wrap up.
Okay, we need you to act. We need you to be creative, and we need you to stop acting like you're stuck. And we need you to address the real human needs that are in our county and take responsibility for them.
Thank you, Pastor Clan.
About 30 seconds, Allie Brown.
Citizen comment, Ms. Allie. You have 30 seconds.
Okay, I'm Allie Brown, Fayetteville, Arkansas. The effects on families without this CARES money will be devastating, especially for children. Can we take the moment to consider the stress and despair some are feeling and use that money to help them out? This isn't about being compassionate. It's about being proactive and putting forth a stabilizing decision for our county. Want to reinforce the very real link to homelessness and law enforcement officers not being able to do their job comfortably and effectively. Once again, this is explicitly stated in our Washington County Criminal Justice Assessment. They do not feel comfortable dealing with issues that are connected to transient people that are in distress. We don't see CARES money to help these people with evictions. We will see unfortunate things in our community. Thank you for honoring my right to speak tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. All right, with that, we'll go ahead and move on to item 6. JP Harbison.
Okay, thank you, Judge Wood. I move to pass the ordinance to establish the Washington County annual budget and budget controls for the calendar year 2021.
This is on the second read. We're going to go ahead and ask the council to read that by title only.
An ordinance to establish the Washington County annual budget and budget controls for the calendar year 2021.
It's only on the second reading unless we have a suspension of the rules.
Move to suspend the rules and put it on the third and final reading.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion to suspend the rules and move to the third and final, a second. Ms. Patty, will you go ahead and do the roll?
Susan Cunningham,
Yes.
Derek Thomas,
Yes.
Judith Yanez,
No.
Patrick Deacons,
Yes.
Lisa Ecke,
Yes.
Sam Duncan,
Yes.
Shonda Washington,
No.
Eva Madison.
Oh.
Did you say no?
Yeah, no, yes.
Andrea Jenkins,
Yes.
Suki Hires,
No.
Sue Madison,
No.
Willie Lemming,
Yes.
Ann Harbison. Ann Harbison,
Yes.
Butch Pond.
Yes.
Do I get to vote?
Oh, JP Johnson.
Yes.
Sorry, thank you. I have 10, 4, and 5 against. So it
Right,
passed.
so that allows us to go ahead and suspend the rules. We go ahead and read that for the third and final time, Counselor.
An ordinance to establish the Washington County annual budget and budget controls for the calendar year 2021.
JP Harbison.
I move to pass the budget for
Second.
2021.
We have a motion to pass the budget 2021, a second by JP Pond. Any discussion? JP Eva Madison.
Thank you, Judge. I wanted to just briefly respond. I know so many of us are receiving emails about the CARES money. And Judge, if I could make a request of you, I think I'm operating sort of in a position in the dark right now. I don't understand the nature of the grant request. I believe Mr. Hill has told us that there are no restrictions on the expenditures, but I have to believe that some of it was intended perhaps as reimbursement for expenses. And so I think all of us could use a good education on what the purpose of the money is, how it can be spent. One of my concerns, as much as I would like to give money to like an organization like Seven Hills, I believe there may be legal restrictions on the county's ability to give to a 501c3. And so I think we
Point
all,
of order, Judge, point of order. This is not germane.
What's the point of order, JP
Not
Ecke?
germane to the agenda.
JP Madison, out of order. We're going to go ahead and continue to move.
Thank you.
well, I want this item put on an agenda. We can't
Point
talk
of
about.
order, point of order, Judge. It can't be put on the agenda
That's
because it's
correct.
already been adopted.
Thank you.
Okay, well, then I
Thank you.
move to amend the budget.
Second.
I move to amend the budget
You've
to
not been
set
recognized.
aside $1 million
JP
of the
Ecke.
CARES money. This is germane to the budget. If I can't talk about the CARES money, then I'm going to move to amend the budget. The people want to hear about this issue as much as JP Ecke doesn't. $1 million.
We have a, JP Madison, I heard you. We have a motion to pass the budget. Now we have an amendment to that budget by JP Madison. Is there a second to amend the budget?
I wasn't finished and I've been muted. I can't even talk without being muted.
JP Madison, I heard, says you asked to amend the
My
budget.
motion.
You motioned to amend the budget.
I have not finished my motion.
What's your motion?
I would like to set aside $1 million of the CARES funding from in the budget to be earmarked for community rental and housing assistance in some form, food.
There's a motion to amend the budget for $1 million. And there's a second by JP Sue Madison. We'll take that. Ms. Patty, do a roll on that amendment.
Susan Cunningham,
No.
Derek Thomas,
No.
Judith Yanez, Yes. Patrick Deacons,
No.
Lisa Ecke,
No.
Sam Duncan,
No.
Sandra Washington,
Yes.
Eva Madison,
Yes.
Andrea Jenkins,
Yes.
Suki Hires,
Yes.
Sue Madison,
Yes.
Willie Lemming,
No.
Ann Harbison,
No.
Butch Pond,
No.
Lance Johnson.
No.
Motion fails.
Okay, the motion fails. We'll continue discussion on the budget and
Sam Dunn, JP Duncan.
JP Duncan.
Sorry, Judge, that was by accident.
Any other discussion?
Sue Madison.
JP Sue Madison, and then JP Willie Lemming.
Thank you, Mr. Judge. If we pass the budget tonight, are you canceling the meeting that's scheduled for tomorrow?
That's correct.
Could you not please consider keeping that meeting scheduled and let us have some healthy discussion about the CARES money? People are hurting. It's not just a matter of food, it is a matter of shelter. And I think food and shelter should be our priorities. And bear in mind that just because rent is excused, we may end up having landlords go out of business. They have mortgages and expenses to meet as well. So I think we have an obligation to this community to discuss how that money is spent. I certainly hope it's not going to just sit in the bank until sometime in January. This is an important time of year for us to consider the needs of the residents of this county. Please have a meeting tomorrow and put this on the agenda.
JP Lemming,
Oh, never mind.
any other discussion? JP Jenkins?
Thank you. Thank you, Judge. I wanted to say that after a lot of thought and deliberation in my mind, I decided that I'm going to vote to pass this budget for Washington County for the employees who are concerned with their salaries next year, and for all the departments who've worked so hard and honestly to present their budgets to us and have made cutbacks and sacrifices and given up plans to help with the county. I hope I won't be here too many's relief, I'm sure. But my hope is that in 2021, there's an expedited discussion about the CARES Act funding and how the county can help those needing it the most in this time of great need during a pandemic. And I hope that the budget process is made more transparent and the department heads of all the departments will present and be available for questioning. Thank you.
JP Jenkins.
Call the question.
JP Yanni, well,
Out of order. She wasn't recognized.
JP Yanni.
Thank you. It's really sad because we haven't had a real discussion, and we can't really have a discussion on the budget with all this darn dysfunction here. And the only chance we had was tonight. We're not holding a budget, but we needed to have a healthy discussion on this. And when we want to say, we'll pass it on to next year, let's hope it happens next year. It won't. And, you know, when you say I'm not faint of heart to run for office, it's not that. I don't want to look like a fool with this process. So the chance we had tonight is gone, and I'm really disappointed.
JP Johnson.
Move the previous question.
There's a motion on the floor to pass the budget, seconded by JP Pine. Second by JP Pine. We'll go ahead and go to citizen comments.
Melissa Terry.
Miss Melissa Terry. You recognize Melissa Terry?
Hi, my name's Melissa Terry. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. You're recognized.
Thank you. I live at 701 South Wood Avenue in South Fayetteville, and I've had the honor of working with many of the longer term JPs on many projects throughout the years, going back to Judge Hunton, and worked really well with Ann Harbison on some good projects. And so I really just want to encourage you all to just take a minute and remember what you're here for. And Ian, I can't believe that you would vote against housing and food. I know who you are, and I really want to encourage you all to think about the opportunity cost in voting for this budget and all of the things that we can do in addition to all the things that we have to do for our people right now. People are hurting. I'm a member of the Housing Authority Commission, and I don't think many people really understand how thin the margins are for most of our people in this county. And you, all of you, have the power to provide a moment of grace, to live this grace in your vote, and think about ways in which we can leverage these funds to the greater good of all our people. And I really call on you to think about that with your heart and with the people in our community who really, really need it right now. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mrs. Terry. Ms. Terry, citizen comments.
Sarah Peace.
Ms. Sarah Peace, you're recognized.
Hello, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, I appreciate your time. I did send an email.
Ms. Sarah, tell us who you are and where you're from, your address.
Oh, sure. So Sarah Peace, and I'm off of East Elaine Avenue in Fayetteville, District 9.
Go ahead.
I did send an email kind of just summarizing some of my thoughts after last night's debacle of a special quorum court hearing. I only mentioned that because to date, no one's bothered to write me a reply. I'm encouraged by some of the conversations tonight regarding the budgets, at least to pass the salaries for our Washington County employees. I would urge you all to please take a few more minutes either this evening or to add it to the agenda for what's tentatively scheduled for the next special quorum court hearing tomorrow evening to discuss the CARES monies. It's multi-million dollars sitting in the county reserves. Meanwhile, we have numerous residents significantly hurting. I understand that there are housing and food assistance, but that does not impact everyone suffering right now. This is a very difficult time in our economy and as far as healthcare goes. And there's not much assistance that is addressing landlords, which is a big part of our community as well as our economy. So instead of it just sitting in the county budget, not going to use, let's have a worthy discussion about how we can inject that into Washington County community to really make a difference for those residents that are hurting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Peace. Citizen comments.
Sherry Main.
Ms. Sherry Main.
Yes, Sherry Main, 15574 Richard Road, Fayetteville. I'm really disappointed. I had asked a question on my public comment at the beginning of the meeting. I had a question regarding the Board of Equalization money in their budget. And if the reappraisal is going to be done again in 2021, or if that's a scheduled installment agreement that we pay the same amount every year. Washington County in 2020, the budget was over $1 million for that. And the prior year, it was a very large amount. And it just seems if we're not doing reappraisal every year in that budget. I mean, if they don't need the money, that's $1 million there that can go over into to replenish the money for the reserve that you take out for the CARES money to help the people that are needed right now. I mean, it's a matter of juggle of numbers. It's not rocket science here. It's a matter of juggling the numbers to move stuff around to help the citizens of Washington County who are paying all of you to sit there tonight. And we don't mind paying for another meeting tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. That's fine. If we can get the answers we need and get a revised, good budget everyone feels comfortable about, another 12, 14 hours is not going to break the bank. I mean, really. I'm very disappointed, and I'm just thinking that everyone wants to go home. They want to wrap their presents, put them under the tree, enjoy Christmas, forget about the citizens of Washington County that are hurting and suffering and can't feed their children. As long as we can get this budget passed and we can make everybody happy and everybody's going to get paid and go home and enjoy Christmas. But think of all the ones who are not. There's lots of people who are not going to be able to buy a gift for their kids, feed their kids. Important stuff that's over and above stuff that we're talking about here. So I just think you need to put on and get your focus exactly where it needs to go. And you're not doing that. You're just passing for the sake of passing. And that is a comp out, if you ask me. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Ms. Mange. Citizen comment?
Lou Sharp.
Ms. Lou Sharp?
Yes, my name's Lou Sharp. The address is 1739 Steel Road, Springdale, Arkansas. And I agree with the other comments, but you know, y'all are spending our taxpayer dollars, and the CARES money is a lot of money to be sitting, not being used, and we can't get answers to it. And I think the discussion does need to be held now. And if it means tying up the budget until another discussion tomorrow, I think that's fine. I mean, I help feed people today that won't have food tomorrow. They're going to go to the neighborhood pantry and get their food. So I think it's irresponsible not to address what you're doing with this money and then to haggle over a budget when we're kicking people out of their homes. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sharp. Citizen comments. Pastor Clint, you're recognized.
Thank you for recognizing me again. 3205 East Charing Cross, Fayetteville, Arkansas. So when I, on a daily basis, weekly basis, as a pastor, I don't have crises most of the time. You know, a lot of times it's like writing a sermon or, you know, just like preparing lessons or distributing food or that kind of thing. But if a crisis comes up, then suddenly I might have to like go all day and all night for whatever the crisis is. And one thing I think that systematically I don't think we're seeing or acting right now is as if there were a crisis in our county, which there is. So I think one of the things you're hearing from some of us is that we would like all of you to treat this like a crisis moment, give more time to it, get more information out for people, all those kinds of things. So Sue Madison's call to have an additional meeting tomorrow night that was specifically around the CARES funds is a really good idea. I would attend because then I could learn a little bit more about what you all are thinking about the CARES funds. And I think you've created some of the dysfunction that we're seeing tonight by the lack of information that you otherwise could have had out so that we could understand a little bit better as citizens how the CARES funding relates to the budget. Procedurally, we don't even understand like what you're doing right now on some levels because we're completely in a vacuum of information about what you can and can't do with the CARES Act. We only know the dollar amount and we have no timeline and we have no other information. I sent you an email over a month ago with ideas and said, hey, let's talk, got zero response. I got one call from the judge. We played phone tag. I asked him for just any kind of written response, and I got 0 response. So I've been sitting here for a month thinking, oh, I'll get some kind of substantive response from Judge Wood, and I've got nothing. And if someone like myself, who's like actively involved in this and involved in like providing resources for people who are rent insecure and hungry, if I can't get a response, that means there's not really any responses going out. So I would agree with all the people who are calling for you to get on top of this faster, much faster. Treat this like the crisis that it is, because what you're going to see starting in 2021 is a huge climb in the number of people who are incredibly vulnerable in our county. And you have the resources sitting in the bank right now to do something about it.
Thank you, Pastor Clint.
Evelyn Stafford is about 50 seconds.
Okay, Evelyn Stafford, you have 50 seconds.
Wow. Okay. Well, I just wanted to, Evelyn Rhea Stafford, Fayetteville resident and incoming JP for District 12. Thank you, Sue Madison, for your incredible service. I wanted to add some numbers to this discussion because people have kind of been in the dark. According to numbers from the National Low Income Housing Coalition, the amount of back rent people owe in Washington County alone is somewhere between $23 and $53 million. So I would advocate that we're not thinking big enough, and most of this $4 million needs to go toward rent relief because the most effective use of the money is to keep people in their existing homes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Patty, call the vote.
I'd like to say I've changed my mind.
Call the vote.
Ms. Patty, will you go ahead and take the roll?
Susan Cunningham,
Yes.
Derek Thomas,
Yes.
Judith Yanez,
No.
Patrick Deakins,
Yes.
Lisa Ecke,
Yes.
Sam Duncan,
Yes.
Chandra Washington,
No.
Eva Madison,
No.
Andrea Jenkins,
No. Thank you, Judith Yanez.
Suki Hires,
No.
Sue Madison,
No.
Willie Lemming,
Yes.
Ann Harbison,
Yes.
Butch Pond,
Yes.
Lance Johnson.
Yes.
I have 9 votes for and 6 against, so it passes.
All right, so that ordinance passes. With that, I have a motion to adjourn.
I move we
Motion
adjourn.
to adjourn.
I have a
I have
motion
my
and a
hand up.
second. All in favor?
Second. Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Oh.
No.
Ms. Patty, will you take the roll?
Susan Cunningham,
Yes.
Derek Thomas,
Yes.
Judith Yanez,
No.
Patrick Deakins,
Yes.
Lisa Ecke,
Yes.
Sam Duncan,
Yes.
Chandra Washington,
No.
Eva Madison,
No.
Andrea Jenkins,
No.
Suki Hires,
No.
Sue Madison,
No.
Willie Lemming,
Yes.
Ann Harbison,
Yes.
Butch Pond,
Yes.
Lance Johnson.
Yes.
I have 9 for and 6 against.
Meeting adjourned.
Very disappointing.